and welcome back to Crypto Novus. My name is Chris Brown and I'm the host of the channel. And I wanted to do a quick presentation today on the MicroStrategy World Now Bitcoin for Corporations conference that happened over the past couple of days that Michael Saylor and his team had put together. I found it to be extremely valuable and really felt really blessed that I had the opportunity to listen to some of the presentations yesterday. So I wanted to do a quick video to give a response to my takeaways from the conference, share those thoughts with you. Hopefully there's some enlightening thoughts that might be helpful to you as investors, and to give you some insight as to why I posted those particular videos. Again, it's just to give you some additional insight. I want to say first thanks to Michael Saylor and to his CFO, Phong Le. They did most of the interviews and moderation yesterday or over the past couple of days, and they really did a nice job. They brought some really good, strong players to the table, and I thought it was just a great experience. It was amazing how many people actually showed up or signed up for the conference. I think the number was like 6,000 different people over the course of 2 days, or maybe 6,000 a day. And then from there, they were able to kind of figure out how far the reach went from people like myself who took segments of the conference and then reposted them to various different social media platforms. And Michael had made a comment on the second day that on the first, they had reached over 30,000 different people. So obviously it had a great impact, and there was a significant need for business owners, for corporations to invest into Bitcoin and to understand how to do it, which really is an indication of how things have changed, which I'll get into a little bit more. So first off, let's just go through the 4 videos that I did post. The first one was Bitcoin Finance Considerations. And so this was hosted by Phong Le himself. And then they had Rob Macy and Amy Park from Delet. And what I got out of that basically is having Bitcoin as a treasury asset for any size business. It doesn't necessarily have to be the companies that have hundreds of millions of dollars to sink into Bitcoin and therefore hold that away for future use. This is really a good business strategy for any size business. And so that was my real strong takeaway. Along with that was, if you are going to do this, you definitely need to formulate a strategy and plan exactly how you're going to do it because of the tax ramifications around it and because of how the asset functions in terms of its spiking in price and then coming back down. So I thought that was a really good segment, and hence why I posted it. The second and third ones, one was Binance for Corporations, which was the second, which again was hosted by Michael Saylor and Vince Walk, I believe is his name. He's the VP of Institutional Business on a global level for Binance. The big takeaway I took from that is my familiarity with Binance was essentially from a retail perspective. I had no idea that they had experienced 70% growth in their corporate accounts over the past year. And in the last quarter of last year, that growth was 40%. So clearly there's been a shift in terms of their clientele and who they're going to be serving. And they have created a long list of products to help the corporate investor come into the market and be able to manage the digital assets. Notice I said assets. So that was really telling. Now, Coinbase, everyone's familiar with that. Again, as a retail onboarding platform, again, that's what was their focus back in 2017. But now, obviously, they're expanding. That particular talk was, again, moderated by Phong Le, and then it was Brian to Paul, who was the representative from Coinbase, who has a very, very strong banking background. And with Coinbase launching an IPO, it's no surprise to me that they're focusing on the corporate market sector and the corporate client. But again, they have a long list of products that they're offering and services to the corporate client. And both Binance and Coinbase really stressed the white glove experience for corporate clients and making it as easy as possible and as personal as possible for corporations to enter into this market, which I thought obviously was very, very smart. And then the last one I posted was Grayscale Investments. And at that point, things just really opened up for me on a whole different plane. Number one, I didn't realize how many different products or trust accounts Grayscale had set up. That was awakening to me, and the big takeaway that I took away from that was again, Michael Saylor was the moderator and the CEO of Grayscale Investments, which was Michael Soninshin, if I pronounced his name right. What he basically said, and he stressed this, that the marketplace today in 2021 is nothing like what the marketplace was like in 2017. He really stressed the point is like night and day. And it's because of the amount of dollars that are flowing into the crypto market from the corporate world. And I can really begin to see that much more clearly, which there's some huge takeaways when I'll get into what those are for me as a result of that. But the fact that they have got the list of products that they have as it associates to the various digital assets, and I'll get into that as well, really stresses the point that you need to, as an investor, look at these assets a little bit differently than you did before because of now the dollars that are behind them and what those investors are wanting to do with those assets. Meaning, like in Bitcoin's case, they're looking at it as a treasury assets, and in particular, the horizon for maturity on this particular asset is different than how they played with investments in the past. The conversation on the Grayscale presentation was the counsel that that coaches are giving, or investor specialists are giving corporations, is you need to look at taking Bitcoin and holding it for at least a 10-year horizon. See, let that digest for a second. And there's a few reasons for that, but largely it has to do with giving that asset a chance to go through its cycles as it is associated with the halvings, and allow the asset to rise in value to where it's beneficial to the corporation. I mean, that's a quick summary, but that's essentially what I got out of it. So let's take a look at, and then the other ones that I did look at, but I did not post. And again, I just didn't want to overflow the channel with videos that maybe not be of interest. However, there was some good response to it, so maybe I should have posted a few more. But I listened to Galaxy Digital's presentation, Fidelity Digital Investments presentation, and Paxos. And after listening to Grayscale and those three, I've shifted in terms of how I'm looking at this market a little bit and how I'm going to create my strategy. So let me just jump into my takeaways. The first I've already mentioned is how different the 2017 crypto market is versus 2021, and what do I take away from that? What's this issue of scarcity with Bitcoin and now Ethereum? I understand a whole lot better, and I'm taking it a lot more seriously. Yesterday, there was a lot of conversation of buy as much Bitcoin as you can. Again, I believe it was either, I think it was Grayscale Investments. That CEO basically said he buys Bitcoin on a daily basis. How much he didn't say, but the point is, buy as much of it as you can at this point, because there's going to come a point in time where the availability of it is going to be scarce to maybe none, because obviously we all know that it's a finite number of coins. But more importantly than that, the people who are purchasing are going to hold them for quite a while. Remember I said, 10-year horizon. That leads me then to the scarcity of Ethereum. We're beginning to hear that as well, because investors that have bought so much Bitcoin, other investors now are looking at, okay, what else can they buy if they can't buy the Bitcoin? Ethereum, obviously the number 2 coin, is now becoming attractive. Well, if you think about the logic, if Ethereum all of a sudden starts to become scarce, then the next coins in line will start becoming attractive for the same investment reason. Which brings me to my next point, that the impact on the altcoin market is going to be much different this time around than last time in 2017 for 17. The retail investor in 2017, there was a lot of conversation that if you wanted to make large gains and you really couldn't afford Bitcoin, well, go ahead and jump into some of the altcoin projects and it was kind of more of a gamble. And if you picked the right one, you made some significant gains. Well, in this marketplace, I think that the difference is going to be the gamble is going to be less. There's going to be less risk of getting into some of the altcoin projects. In the past, what I did is I focused on the altcoins that were in the top 10. I think now altcoins that are in the top 100 have much more significance than they did before. The third thing about how the market has shifted from 2017 to 2021, and this is a speculation on my part, is what is going to be the retracement. In the past two cycles, what we've experienced is, like for Bitcoin, about an 80% retracement, and then the altcoins, they had about a 90% when they, from all-time high to where they bottomed out in the bear market phase. I heard one individual speak that maybe what might happen is that Bitcoin, instead of retracing down to 80%, might retrace down to 50%. Again, it was just a number that was thrown out, so no significance to it. But the point is well taken. If you have such large investors buying Bitcoin and holding on to it, is it going to retrace down as far? My guess is no. And if it doesn't go down as far, then the altcoins won't go down as far. So, maybe we have a retracement of Bitcoin at 50% and the altcoins at 75. Again, I'm just throwing out numbers. But the message is you need to watch that. And you need to, again, it's going to impact, your exit strategy and your re-entry strategy. But it's something to look out for. And then the other thing, too, is it gives a lot more power to the altcoins in terms of them retaining their value and the projects that they are trying to create and the problems that they're trying to solve. It kind of pushes them along in terms of having more success, I think. The second thing is there's a need to adjust your investment strategy. Like in my case, going into this market, into this bull run, I had a certain investment strategy. I was looking at certain coins, wanted to hold them for a certain period of time. I had an expectation of what they might do over the next 5 and 10 year period of time, essentially the next two halvings. I've always had a long-term hold perspective. I'm not into this game for the short term. That doesn't make sense to me. But one thing has definitely been reinforced is that the long-term hold strategy is the more prudent and wisest way to approach this. That's one. The second is when it comes to your entry point, how long you hold, your exit point, and then how you re-enter into a particular asset, that's I'm going to have to look at a little bit differently because things are going to shift, and how the prices may peak a lot higher than anticipated. Again, they may not retrace down as far, so I have to kind of re-look at those for every single asset that I'm invested into. The other thing about the strategy is going back to Grayscale. Grayscale, they have trust accounts for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, Zcash, and Horizon. Separate individual accounts. What that says to me is that there's going to be a lot of focus on those assets, and they will probably perform very well over time because of the amount of money that's going to be put into them with the hopes of good returns. So obviously you're going to look at those a little bit differently. I'm going to look at those differently than I did in the past, which again, like I said before, will trickle down into other altcoins. And the thing that I also started to take a look at today as a result of this conference was I started looking at coins that I normally don't pay much attention to because, quite frankly, there's so many coins on the market. I found it almost overwhelming to try to focus on, 30 or 40 coins, although I have them listed, but to watch them all the time, it's just too much. But I just took a look at VeChain, Elrond, and Theta. Now, of course, Elrond and Theta, they've had a lot of conversation over the last 6 months, but this is what I just picked up. If I would have invested, or if anyone would have invested in, let's say, VeChain, back in the middle of the year, last year, its low point was 0.002 cents, under a penny. It's now sitting at 3 cents. Elrond was at its low last year when the COVID situation hit. It was as down as low as $6.54. It's now sitting at 87. And Theta was down as low as 4 cents, and it's now sitting up at $2.39, and that's almost a 60x gain. I think the point is well made. you need to pay attention, and the gains in those altcoins are really significant. So for the smaller retail investor that may not have or can't even possibly conceive investing in Bitcoin right now, or even Ethereum when Ethereum starts taking off, taking a look at these other coins, I think has some validity to it, and you need to really pay attention and be, again, selective on which one of those projects makes sense to you and how you think they're going to perform over the next two Bitcoin halving cycles. And then the last takeaway I had was the entrepreneurial opportunities. I'm still kind of digesting this one. There are so many opportunities that are going to come up that if you're really creative and have a good business sense about you, there is going to be some great opportunities to play in the space and in help improve the technology and the adoption of that technology with the masses. And of course, obviously, there's going to be a lot of profits to be made. I mean, Paxos opened my mind up to that, and then I just jumped into Ternino because I'm going to be doing a Litecoin price prediction here shortly. And the Litecoin card is out, as some of you probably already know, and they partner with Ternino to help create that. So, I'm as an entrepreneur, I'm looking for the business opportunity that I can jump into and, again, play in this space. I think it's so much fun, and I think the opportunities are great. And it's something that I would definitely want to bring to the Crypto Novas community, is something special that's unique, different to the other YouTubers that are out there. I'm not bashing anybody. Everybody brings something to the game. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at what unique thing can I bring to the game and bring to this community that makes it unique and makes people want to be a part of it. So, that's a quick video. It's about 17 minutes long. It wasn't so quick. But I hope that these thoughts that I've shared with you give you something. Again, I'm always looking to give you a nugget that you can take away, apply it to your life and to your strategy, and take your position and elevate it to the next level. So hopefully that's what happened here. Again, this is Crypto Novas, where us newbies become masters, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. As always, you guys have a blessed day, and see you soon.